Have you ever wondered what it looks like to bring a new product to life? Flops, messes, and all? This week, I'm prototyping a new batch of hardcover journals, and I'm taking you behind the scenes to show you the full process. Hi, y'all. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Chelsea, the one woman show behind Petrichor&Co., a small batch studio where I create goods for the wild hearted homebody. If you're just as likely to spend a morning reading a good book as you are hiking a forest trail, you're in good company. I have one goal in mind for these journals, just to make them better than their previous iteration. My first attempt turned out pretty good, and at the time I was really comfortable putting them on the market, but after doing research and after coming face to face with some issues in my first run of handmade journals, I realized that my first iterations are just not good enough. I ran into some issues like glue seeping through the fabric that I bound the books with, glue getting honestly all over the place because I used way too much of it, messed up end pages because I decided it would be a good idea to cut the end pages, and also the fabric just kind of laying funky on the spine in the end boards in general. So, after a lot of research and YouTube videos and trial and error, I want to come back to this product line and improve it and make it the best that it can be. While I'm at it, I'm also going to include another kind of journal. I had an idea a few weeks ago, kind of inspired by the puffy stickers from the 90s and early 2000s. I want to make a puffy journal. I want to make a hardcover journal that is sturdy and durable, but also have like an element of girliness and femininity to them. In all my research, I wasn't able to find anything that was exactly quite like my idea, which makes me excited. I'm sure that it exists somewhere in the world, but there hasn't been a YouTube video made about it quite yet. Before we get going, though, I want to show you my original products and kind of lay out the issues that I had with them so you can visually see what I'm talking about. This is my faux leather journal, and while it looks quite nice on the outside, I realized after the fact that there are some issues with the inside. So for some reason, I thought it was a good idea to cut the end pages. I don't know why I thought that. It just doesn't look as polished as it should. Additionally, I sewed my signatures wrong. And for those of you who don't know, a signature is basically just what we call the pages on the inside. I sewed with way too thick of a needle. I made the binds way too tight. And as a result, it made the pages way too wavy and not flat. You can probably see it better like this. Otherwise, I'm pretty happy with these, and that's why I was comfortable with putting them on the market in the first place. But as of right now, I know that I can do better. Grab your favorite drink, get comfy, and come with me this week as I show you my entire prototyping process.
Like the money, I'm at vantage point. Message from the highest, now it's coming up my mind. Let it rain down on my body, watch it blossom in the moon. We did the labor for nobody, now it's time to bear the fruits of the art of our souls. Let the true ones eat. I'm so ready, I'm so ready, I'm so ready. I'm so ready, I'm so ready, let's surrender. I stand here red-handed with the evidence. The simplest expression is of infinite. I'm sent to experience the visions of the limitless. I animate this body to its destined death. All my life I find there's always so much more just beyond the form. You feel it, feel it, feel it, feel it, feel it, feel it, feel it for once at last. Free spirit, free spirit, free, free spirit,
Good morning, everybody. It's the next day.
You have so much to say this morning. Would you like to say it to the audience?
I'm sure they really appreciate that. Thank you, baby. Anyway, so I wanted to give you guys a little check-in because I kind of just abandoned my task altogether yesterday. I was having like a little bit of an off day, nothing crazy, but I just ended up doing some other stuff and the journal kind of got lost. And then I was like, oh yeah, I'm filming. Whoops. So I had this idea, I guess last week, where I decided that I really want to do like a puffy journal, like a journal that you can squish. I don't know, something about that. It's really tickling my brain right now. It's giving very like cottagecore cozy. It's giving childhood in a weird way. It reminds me of like those puppy stickers. I really want to try and make this happen, and I have a very good idea as to how. So, to that end, I don't know how I'm going to accomplish it necessarily. So, this will be a fun little prototyping experience for us because I'm going to pull out some techniques that I didn't find on YouTube. I know, a concept, right? Anyway, this part is so valuable, but it's all learning and frustration because you're not doing everything right because you don't have your process in place, which is why this part is so valuable. So I'm looking forward to nailing down the final product, but I'm just such an impatient person. I'm such an Aries dude. I just want to get it done and perfect on the first try, but that's not how things work. Anyway, I'm rambling again. Yeah. So I'm gonna enjoy my little cafe au lait. And then I think we should get cracking because time's a passing. Time's money, y'all.
Take me to the ruins, aquifers and springs, baby ferns and key and cooler on. Push the pause for relief. Free pass, you don't even have to ask to be the cat in the sun. Someday I will see the whole deal through. Today I've got better things to do. Okay, to leave a little bit undone and be the cat in the sun. Be the cat in the sun. Set aside every empty spreadsheet line and loosen up on the grind. Simmer down, settle back and mess around. Be the cat in the sun. Someday I will see the whole deal through. Today I've got better things to do. Okay, to leave a little bit undone. Be the cat in the sun. Be the cat in the sun. Stretch out, lean back, be the cat. Stretch out, lean back, be the cat.
Hey, you guys. So, obviously, I got ready for the day. So, I finished the hardcover journal and I'm still waiting on one of the elements for the Puffy journal to completely dry. But I did kind of want to bring along for this conversation because there are already some edits that I think I'm definitely going to be making in the final product. So, for the regular journal, this guy here, I have a lot of thoughts. First and foremost, you can see that there's a little discoloration here. I was using a light fabric and a very dark colored chipboard, and you can see where I cut off the cardstock here that it was just like a regular piece of cardstock and it went from here to back here. So, yeah, definitely going to be making a note that if I'm using light fabric in the future, that I will be either extending some cardstock or putting another layer underneath it or like something like that to start with. I really like the size of the word journal here. I think that it is a good proportion for the size of the rest of the book. And honestly, I really like the size in general. It's maybe like a little long, but I do think that on the whole, this is like a very unique product to me. And these are standardized measurements that I can really get behind. I think that they work out really well because for the pages, I essentially, like, in the spirit of having as little waste as possible, I have A4 pages that I cut down to size. So essentially, what that means is that I get 2 kinds of journal paper from 1 sheet of A4 paper, and that's something that I would like to continue because I do not like wasting as much as humanly possible, so this is going to be a great size, I think. Going back to the letters, I do think that I will do some experimentation to see what the best way to get the letters on straight is, whether that is adding like a little box around it or something. I'm not totally sure. And also, I think what would be a really valuable exercise for me as far as just like color schemes and palettes and things like that go is I think before I go through my big batch of like what everything that I'm making, I really want to kind of go through like, okay, like what cardstocks do I have? What fabrics do I have? What iron on materials do I have? What ribbons? And then kind of curating a little collection. So I think that in the next vlog, I'm going to be doing that because I think that that is going to be really helpful. So that way I don't have to like think too hard in the moment about, like what the color scheme or like the theme is supposed to be. So definitely going to keep that in mind. I do love how this one turned out as far as the color scheme goes. I'll get back to it though. It's giving very brat. So love. Okay, so then kind of moving on from there, I think that the ribbon worked out really well. I think I have that down pat, so I'm not going to make any changes there. On the inside, I just use this like spare construction paper that I have. And as you can see, it's okay. It's not perfect. There isn't enough of a gap here on the line. And that is something that I really want to be more mindful of for the next one because I really think that it just like having symmetrical symmetrical lines going around is really going to be like what takes it over the top, in my opinion. But otherwise, I do like the distance in between the text block and the case. I think that in general, I'm really happy with that. So no changes there. But yeah, I will be mindful to cut this edge down a little bit shorter for next time. As for the pages themselves, I did something a little different this time and I made the signatures a lot smaller than the ones that I actually have on the market on my shop right now. Now that I'm doing this, kind of like seeing all of these details, I am 100% going to be taking those off of my store. I don't feel like they're good enough anymore. I know more things now, and I want to only include products that I'm extremely, extremely proud of. So, that being said, let me circle back. So, for this construction paper, I won't be using construction paper anymore. It was a little finicky and it did absorb the glue in a way that wasn't the best. So, I think this construction paper is, it was like $1. I'm not going to get mad about it. I'm just going to use it for stuff that I'm not selling or things that I'm prototyping. So there's that because it did get like a little wobbly. So moving on, part of the signature or part of this inside page is that I'm sure you saw through my process, but you glue a little strip here to attach it to the text block. In this case, it was way too far over. So I remedied that for the text block for the Puffy journal. I made it a lot smaller of an area, and I think that's going to help a whole lot. Now, as far as the rest goes, I made a mistake of not putting something in between the little end pages here and my text block. I think it got a little too close to the glue or moisture in general. And what happened was it started kind of getting wavy and creasy. Now, this was a problem that I had with the items that I have currently on my store. Again, I'm going to be taking those off because I don't feel like they're the quality that I want anymore. But I noticed that the more pages I had in my signature, the more wavy they got. And I think that was for a lot of reasons. I think because when I was sewing the text block together, the the string was too thick, the needle was too thick, and I was being too rough with it in a sense where I was like tying it to make sure it was really, really tight. And like that isn't actually what we want to happen. In this case, I think that that problem was remedied very well. As you can see, we have really nice, just clean pages in here, which is great. I guess those are my biggest notes, other than what I mentioned earlier, which is using a completely different chipboard. This one is like way too thin. It feels very cheap and loosey goosey. So I think I'm going to relegate that chipboard to being like the backing for my notepads that I make. They don't need to be in a journal that's going to have a lot of wear and tear and being like tossed into bags, being handled a lot because I work really, really hard in these and I want my customers to get the most bang for their buck and I want them to be sturdy. So anyway, do you have any more notes about this one? The last thing I'm going to be really picky about is that I don't have clean, flat edges. And that is something that I would like to work towards being able to provide. That being said, I don't have a proper paper guillotine that can cut 50 to 100 to 200 pages at once. I don't have one of those. They are incredibly expensive. I've been checking online and even Facebook Marketplace. I think the cheapest one there was like $150, but everywhere else I've been looking, they're around 200 to 250. So that'll be like a business want in a little while. But for now, I do think that it's not a deal breaker. I think that the pages are still really pretty and that okay. Also, just like a technique thing here, I accidentally glued some of these pages together because like I smushed down the book and glue like dropped through these little cracks here and got all over the pages. So that really sucks. And again, another reason why I just need to put a little piece of like parchment paper or something in between the end pages and then the text block just to make sure that everything is kept as separate and as clean as humanly possible. Don't know if you could tell from my setup. I'm so sorry if it was driving you crazy. I am a little all over the place. I do think with like my organization as I'm working on these, I do think it has a lot to do with the fact that I don't have a lot of space on my desk. My desk is not even a true desk. It is meant to be a vanity. I have the mirror for it detached and it's in my room right now. But the vanity part, I mean, like it's small. You're supposed to do your makeup and hair there. It's gorgeous and I love my desk and I will never get rid of it, but I do wonder if it could be relegated back to its previous purpose as a vanity as opposed to using it as my workspace. Or in the meantime, just getting a fold out table to use because I think that that would just having more space would be so much better. And also, just on top of it all, like I keep getting glue and stuff on this antique desk. It's literally from the early 1900s. I'm being so chaotic with it and I need to refinish the top anyway. Moving on to the puffy sleeves. Like I said, I have the text block drying right now. It does need to dry for like minimum an hour before I case the text block in my case. I'm having a hard time with these words. You'll forgive me. So I already noticed that one thing that I'm definitely going to be doing because when you close it, you can't, I'm not sure if you'll be able to tell on camera, but there are these little like puckers in the fabric here. And that's because I had attached the batting to the cardboard as opposed to attaching the batting to the fabric. And so I think that in the future, I will instead just do one long sheet of the batting, obviously with like a little bit left off of the edges so I can then fold them and glue them down and they're really, really secure. And then putting the chipboard on top of the batting because in this case, I don't think that it really worked out and it makes like funny noises. Like that's not that's not user friendly. An additional note is that I was nervous about cutting the corners too shallowly. And I was worried that I was going to have a big gap here. So I cut them a little bit higher than I typically would. And I think that you saw me kind of freehand that. But I think I will go back to the previous way of doing that because if you can see, the edges right here are like overlapped in kind of a 90-degree angle instead of being that really crisp 45-degree angle. I don't think that the batting is so thick that it's going to impact that too greatly. So I'm definitely going to just, yeah, work on kind of fine tuning these elements. I'm sure you guys did see while I was putting on this decal, I kind of used like a like a piece of tape to understand where like the flat line would be underneath the word, and I think it worked out really, really well. I was a little nervous about putting the iron on and like on top of the fabric with the batting. It worked out great. I don't know what I was afraid of. I do know what I was afraid of. I was afraid of the adhesive like seeping through the fabric, but I also made this into book fabric the other day. One of the first problems that I ran into while I was first doing this is that the book glue was seeping through the fabric. And so I was looking at book cloth and like really wanted to get some. But again, I love doing things like sustainably, secondhand, buying reused as much as possible instead of buying something new straight off the bat. Because of that, and because I was having this problem, I found a YouTube video on a way to make your own book cloth. And it was really simple. It was essentially just taking the fabric that you want, getting some like double sided heat and bond, which is essentially like you just iron on one layer onto the fabric, peel it off, and then iron tissue paper over that. And the tissue paper and the heat and bond make it the fabric a little bit more stiff. And it also makes it so that the tissue paper is completely adhered to the fabric, but it takes on the glue so that way it doesn't seep through the fabric. So last week I was really busy making a bunch of book fabric, and essentially it just looks like this. I can kind of see a line where I had the tissue paper cut off, but it makes it just a little bit sturdier and all that jazz. I think that that really helped me today. I wasn't totally sure if I was going to be using book fabric for the Puffy Journals. I think it really worked out my favor today because the glue didn't seep through the fabric while I was trying to iron this on. So, kind of double benefit there. Anyway, I'm just rambling very technically about how to make these, but I am going to start cleaning up my workspace because it is an absolute wreck right now. And then I think once I'm done with that, my text block for the Puffy Journal is going to be fully ready to place inside of the hardcover case, the hardcover Puffy case. That makes sense, right? I will go ahead and do that, and then I'll catch you guys in just a little bit.
Wow. Who told you that it was too late? When was it
So that is my prototyping process. Please let me know in the comments if these more technical videos are something that you enjoy and if anyone would like a tutorial. We don't gatekeep here. I'll be taking a break in my next vlog to make some notepads before I go all in on making a bunch of new journals, so look for that video next Friday. Please like this video to boost my audience, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching. You have officially earned a forehead kiss from yours truly. Until next time, bye for now.
and it's taken